Earth is a prison planet, and you are an inmate. You need to wake up and do the work so that you can escape and carry on with your journey. Hello, my name is Whitehorse, and I'm a soul bender. One of my first assignments as a new spiritual teacher was an insane download that spirituality and technology is going to merge and it's going to form a new kind of consciousness. So the test was then to see as a new spiritual teacher, are you going to go and tell people what you have been told, or are you going to doctor a crazy sounding message to be more palatable? So I'm going to stitch the original post that
I
I did.
foresee that technology will advance in a spiritual way, or technology will advance in a way that speaks more to spirit, that there will be some sort of a merging between technological advances and spiritual advances. And that, of course, will have an impact on our physicality. Or we see technology as everything that spirit is not. But if we're in the age of Aquarius, if we're in the stage where Pluto is in Aquarius, and Pluto is about death, rebirth, total transformation, catastrophic change in order to bring about new things, I foresee that there will be a merging somehow of technology and the spirit.
At the time of posting that, I had no clue what my spiritual team was talking about. I just had to take the download, put it into words as best as I could, and deliver it. And then I just stepped away because I was just like, I hardly know anything about technology. Or trying to figure out how technology and spirituality is going to form one thing, well, I don't know. Now, however, I do understand much better. One crucial message is that there is going to be a split in society where we see conscious communities being formed and people and other people choosing to live in smart cities, cities that are more controlled by technology. And in the conscious communities, people are moving back to a more natural way of life. But in the smart cities, that is where the merger between technology and spirituality is going to present itself far more blatantly. And the reason for this is that technology is always advancing. And what the rulers of the world was trying to do in the past was to enslave people physically. But slavery didn't work because it violated so much of the human spirit, of the human nature, that people became unproductive. And even in the fact that they were traumatizing people on an ongoing basis, the human spirit becomes desensitized. Now you're not getting the amount of negative energy that they would have liked to get out of people because the conditions are just too bad. You break the human spirit to the point where it just becomes dormant. Now you're starving and they are useless to you. They broke the human spirit to the point where they were starving because their farm animals could not produce. Then it became clear that we have to use this livestock of ours, this cattle of ours, we have to treat them nicer so that they can become more productive. And we have to find ways to extract that which we want out of them, that energy, those negative emotions. We have to find ways to extract that better. Because if we keep on pressing them too much, it's actually working against this farming operation of ours. So that is one of the reasons why we have seen an increase in the living conditions of individuals over the last few centuries, right? People have gotten more liberties, food supply has become more regular, There's more conveniences, things like transport, little machines that can help you do things like washing and all of that. It's being introduced. It's part of leaving the human spirit room to explore and room to work. That inventions like that will come out where a human being naturally wants to make life easier for itself, because ease is not against the human spirit. Ease is actually part of what life should be about. Anyway, now we look back to say, let's say the 1700s, how difficult life was then. And you look at how easy life in comparison is now. If the rulers of the world were already in place, which of course they were in the 1700s and very long before that already, if their abilities, if societal improvement has also meant an improvement for them in harvesting what they need out of human beings, you can rest assured that their future plans makes that harvesting even easier. And that's where technology and spirituality comes in. This phone, the very same one I'm recording on now, it reads your facial expressions. It has a way of telling everything that's happening around you. And yes, they deny it and say, no, it's not listening. No, it's not reading your mind. No, it's not logging everything you do to predict what you want to see and where you're gonna go and who you talk to about what and all that. They might deny it, but everybody can see it. Now, once you are in a smart city, everything of yours is going to be that much more monitored because you're going to be in an enclosed environment. And these same devices are going to link up with that invisible, non-physical part of you, to the point where the minute you think something, the minute an emotion even starts to form inside you, these devices, these programs, even your walls, even your car, every single device of yours in a smart city is going to set up to reap that energy that you produce. So you're going to become nothing more than a constant supplier of energy. And if they can get more out of one person, they're going to need less people, isn't it? And if there's less people needed, the rest of y'all can go and live in your conscious community. The ones that we've got, we're going to milk them. We're going to milk the ones for all they can give us. The ones we've captured. No, we're going to make good work out of them. We're going to use their bones the way we do with cows. We use the bones, we use the meat, we use the skin, we use the milk. We use everything that we can use. The same way we do to animals in the farming industry. That's exactly what's going to happen to us. These people have plans to make each human that much more valuable, that much more productive by way of technology. By way of technology, that is how technology is going to merge with spirituality. And that is why we see the so-called elite behaving in weird ways, that now they're building bunkers underground and all of that. Who's gonna now abandon their big mansion and their fancy cars and all of that to go and live underground? Because underground they won't be subjected to the surveillance and the control that people in smart cities will be subjected to. There's a plan behind all of this. There's a thinking behind all of this. And it's not even being hidden. It's just out there. Every day there's a new app to change your face, to change your voice, to create fictional scenarios. Every day real life is moving a little bit further and further away from us who think we are in step with technology. Every day we are separated further and further away from our humanity. from our spirituality. And we think we are advancing when the only advance that's happening here is the advancement in the farming methods of the rulers who use us as their livestock. My ancestors came to me and said, the first people that you should convince to move into a conscious community is your own family. But as usual, people laugh at me. As usual, the predictions that I make 20, 30 years ahead of time is reason for great amusement until such time they prove themselves to be true. And I hope that there are people out here, people who came across this post by accident, people who have followed me. Thank you for all the follows and the reposts and the likes. People who also have had this message. If you were given the same vision that I have been given of the split in society that is coming, we are going to have, in broad terms, people who are living a more conscious life and people who are living a more technologically advanced life. This is a this is a confirmation that you're not crazy. You are not the only one who's been shown it. You have a responsibility to spread that message. You haven't been told that just for you to keep. Yes, you should protect yourself. Yes, you should do something to safeguard your own loved ones, the people close to you, and those who are open to your message. But it isn't a message for you to just keep. If we can if we can conscientize people to the point where we can get more people to, of their own choice, move into conscious community, there is hope for us yet. And like I've said before, trying to fight the systems is almost it's almost impossible to fight these systems, because everything in the way our lives work are set up by the rulers, and they have set it up so they will always win. But what they haven't been able to win up to this point is your immortal spirit, that uncapturable little bit of God that lives inside you. But if you give them enough generations, if you give them enough opportunities, they will find a way, if not capture, they will limit and subdue the spirit in you so that they can get what they want out of you, and you will have a life of fake consciousness, an AI movie playing there of you being the character while you are actually you are just passive and just alive as any other device is, that is only a tool for somebody else's purposes. Maybe I didn't understand this message at the beginning, a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago when it was given to me. But there's constant developments happening that open my eyes to what was actually told to me when my understanding was less mature than it is now. So please, take the time to consider where the world is heading, where you are heading, to consider what are all these things that are made so free. What is the purpose of all these things that are made so freely available to you? You know, us older inhabitants of the world, it used to be something to have a modem, to just be able to get on the internet, to just have that internet access, to have email, to have an email address, to have a website was wow. Now it's nothing but an everyday thing. It's actually like you're handicapped if you don't have Wi-Fi. People are starting to talk about Wi-Fi being a human right. A human right. Well, that's fresh. And that just shows you the immense speed of which this technological advancement is progressing at. And what is the reason behind it? What do you think is the reasoning behind it? In your own perception, In your own idea of what is happening in the world, what could be the reason that technology is advancing at the pace that it is right now? Because there are too many of us waking up, taking back our power. They need to capture the ones that still are capturable and milk them. Capture them and put them in a cage where you think it's a cage of freedom, where you think it's a cage of convenience, where you think it's a cage of advancement, but it's actually a cage of the most extreme form of slavery that this species has ever perpetrated on us. Think about it. Everything that's good to you is not good for you.